Here we are then, lap 1 of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the Bevel sector as we got to Badman leading ahead of Glenn with Basin there in 3rd place, followed by T. We got to Rexy Boy Ernie with G.C. Max Shinigami and C. Fortner completing the top 10. And then you got Dare Pixel followed by Matty Pitt with Draugus Fock. There's Street Boy there right behind Fock with White Shadow Hole. John and Mango completing the classification at the moment. As we've got Ernie here dropping down the order. What's happened to Ernie? Ernie has had a bit of a moment here in the first sector of the opening lap, but has dropped down to 11th place. So Ernie's had a bit of a horror show just there. Has dropped down 5 places just whilst we were flicking through the pack there. So Ernie with an absolute awful opening lap to the race, but it's Badman leading ahead of Glenn, followed by Basin at the moment. So obviously Badman got a good start there from pole position. Basin here doing a good job right now, currently sticking to the 2 championship contenders. Badman comes into tonight leading the championship by just 1 point ahead of Glenn. Oh, Glenn was very wide there going through the chicane, and that could have left him very vulnerable there to Basin. I'll tell you what, if he's struggling like that now, this could be a recurring theme there. He was extremely wide there going through that part of the track. If his setup isn't set up appropriately for that part of the track, then he's going to have a difficult race. I'll tell you what, that is a big warning sign. That's a big red flag to see that this early on in the race there for Glenn. But Badman leading by just over a second at Glenn at the moment. As Glenn coming under increasing pressure here from Basin. In the background we got a Red Bull here. C-Mac looking to the inside of G.C. A bit too far away there as Ernie's made the move there on Dare Pixel up into 10th place. So that's a move that's been done there for position, and Ernie trying to recover the lost ground, which he obviously lost a load of places here this time a lap ago, but is trying to make amends here in these early stages of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the Bevel Sector Formula 1 League. But at the moment it is Badman who is out the front by just over a second ahead of Glenn, and Glenn has managed to get it back together despite that glaring moment there going through the chicane. Let's just watch him here this time around. It's not this next chicane, it's the one after where he went very wide. I was saying that could be a general problem, but it seems to be okay so far. He's got a reasonable gap to Basin, not quite a second yet. He's not quite out of danger. As C. Fortner has got a 3-second time penalty already here, and that does not bode well at all here for C. Fortner, because getting a penalty at this stage in the race, he's treading on eggshells for the rest of it. As Glenn looks fine there through that corner this time around. So I don't know if he was maybe adjusting something on his dial maybe, and just got caught out by how quickly the corner came around. I really don't know, but because of that little mistake on the first lap, he finds himself quite a way adrift here at the race leader Badman, as we see Rexy Boy getting ahead of T into the final corner, getting around the outside beautifully there. T though is going to be able to try and go for the immediate reply here with the slipstream and the DRS, and he's going to be forced to the outside here as Rexy Boy covers that inside line off. T looking to go around the outside into turn 2. Rexy Boy still there though, gets a good exit out of the corner, and nothing doing there for him as we see Fock into the pits here at the end of lap 2. So that's a very early stop there for Fock. Started on the hard tyres as well, so it's not like he's in a strategic position to make it work without costing him anything. And Fock off and away as we see Drauga has retired from the session here at the end of lap 2 as well. So Drauga out of the race. I'm not quite sure why, but it looks like we've got a full course caution, no safety car, so it looks like we're going to get this back on the way in a moment. But for the time being, Badman has the lead by 2 seconds over Glenn, and the top guys just starting to gap each other a bit. There's a reasonable cushion now between all of the top 5 drivers. T's got G.C. still very close on him at the moment. Rex Boy obviously we saw making that move on T a moment ago, so T will be hoping to try and keep himself in that fight as well. C. Fortner currently running an 8th place on the back of C-Mac, but with that 3-second time penalty which he got on lap 2 of the race. So C. Fortner already on the back foot a little bit here with that one. VSC still out, still not under green flag just yet, but Badman will be I'm sure chomping at the bit, ready to get this race back underway, having been in control in these first couple of the laps of the race, and hasn't really looked troubled at all so far in this one. But very early doors yet, that's for sure. Double checking my audio is good. So here we go, back underway. Oh, Street Boy there jumped the gun a little bit, and has got done for speeding under the VSC. Matty's got ahead of Pixel up into 11th place as well. Seeing that one on the timing board. Oh, I think someone's just scored a goal at Vicarage Road. I live about a quarter of a mile away from the ground. I just heard a big cheer going off. Watford, but anyway, looks like Basin here attacking on Glenn as they're fighting out for second place here in this race at this moment in time. And he'll want to use the DRS down these next couple of zones here to really pile the pressure here on the reigning champion, the driver who's second in the championship so far this season. There'll be another DRS zone, and then there'll be another chicane here, which could allow Glenn to just eke himself out of danger here. But Basin did a good job there through the chicane and manages to keep the gap pretty tight here between the two of them, so he'll continue to get DRS down this part of the track and the next bit. It's very hard to shake off the driver behind around Jeddah, because the DRS is so prevalent. You've got 3 DRS zones, and really it's about one sector of the whole track where you haven't got a DRS zone. So the only part of the track where you can really get yourself out of DRS is the first sector. So if you've got a car right up your chuff going into turn 1 like Glenn has here with Basin, you're really in a bit of a pickle if you're going to try and extend the gap. As we can see, Rexy Boy's got T and G.C. right in the thick of it here with him. Yeah, you got Rexy Boy T, G.C. Mac and C Faulkner, and Ernie as well. Actually, he's pulling up onto the back of these guys as well now in 9th place. Ernie's picked up a couple of drivers here after his first lap shenanigans, and is starting to bring himself up the order ever so slightly here, as we see there Pixel and Mango both in the pits here at the end of lap 4, which is not going to be, I'm sure, what either of those two had scheduled before the start of this race. But there Pixel's back out on the track, Mango also back out onto the circuit. But in the meantime, the gap has come down a little bit here between Badman and Glenn. Glenn is now starting to up the tempo a little bit here. Has managed to gap Basin by over a second, so he's comfortable there in P2. And now he can try and pile the pressure on his championship rival. In the meantime, T still pretty close on Rexy Boy. G.C. not much closer to T than T is to Rexy Boy, but obviously T's got DRS on the Ferrari in front of him, which is going to prevent G.C. from really being able to capitalise on the DRS that he's got. He's got Slipstream as well, but they both got Slipstream. Now G.C. is going to have to try and get this done on grunt, but then again, looking like T is really close on the back of G.C's teammate there in the foreground. As he goes a little bit wide there, has to check himself, because I think he almost went into the back there of Rexy Boy. Here they come then, down the start finish straight once again, on board with the Ferrari at G.C. as T once again is getting a run on Rexy Boy, but he's too far away to be any real threat to him at this moment in time. C-Mac there was looking to the inside of G.C, but he was way too far back to even think about it. C. Faulkner and Ernie still right there, and Ernie is now very much joined this train of cars here for 4th place. There's currently 6 of them in a line here. It's led by Rexy Boy, and this is shaping up into a fascinating race. Gap at the front between Badman and Glenn of just almost 2 seconds now, so Badman started to consolidate that lead a bit more. Basin is over a second behind Glenn, so Glenn's safe in 2nd place for the time being as well. But that gap, I mean, that's on a knife's edge. That could easily swing under a second, and it could give Basin a real upper hand there in that fight. But currently out of that range, as we see a double yellow flag through sector 1. There Pixel's retired from the race, and we have got a safety car here at Jeddah. It's taken 5.5 laps, but we have finally got a safety car here. I say finally, I mean, it's not exactly like we've waited long, but potentially longer than I think some people might have anticipated. But nonetheless, the safety car is officially out here at the Jeddah Corniche for this evening's action here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Purple Sector. And this will be interesting now, because we're sort of in the range where you could probably stick a set of hard tyres on and go to the end. You'd have to do a long stint on them, because by the time we get racing again, it'll probably be about 17 laps to the end. So it could be a possibility that we'll be seeing pit drivers going on the hard tyres to the end, but it's borderline. But yeah, for sure that they will do it, but at what cost? In what state will those tyres be by the time we get to the end of the race? One driver who will definitely be not too happy about this is White Shadow Hull, because White Shadow started on the hard tyres, banked on their, I'm assuming, banked on there not being a safety car, and as such has got to use the medium tyres. So what does White Shadow do? Nonetheless, Badman back out onto the circuit in the lead of the race, so reassumes the position he's had since the beginning. And interestingly, Badman's gone for another set of medium tyres. The guys around him have gone for the hards, apart from C-Mac, who's also opted for the mediums. So Badman clearly thinking either that there's going to be another safety car, or thinking that even if there isn't, that he's probably best off coming in for another stop. So the thing is, he will have to use the hard tyres, because the mediums, well, unless he puts the softs on for a short stint at the end, you know, about 6 or 7 laps on the softs, maybe go to about lap 18, 19, who knows what Badman plans on doing here. But yeah, that's yeah, it's not hard enough. I'd put the hard tyres on, and then at least that gives you options. Then you can try and go to the end. If the tyres start giving up after about 12 laps, stick the softs on, maybe a set of mediums after 8 laps. You know, it kind of gives you a few options, but putting the mediums on means he has to go for another stop regardless. Doesn't give you that option of going to the end, unless, of course, he has a lot of confidence in his tyre saving abilities. You have to have more than confidence to get those tyres to the end, though. You'd have to have, well, confidence, well, a lot of skill in regards to being able to look after rubber for that long, with obviously the lack of durability that you find in the medium tyres. It's going to be an interesting second stint to this race. We're going to have at least one more lap on the safety car here. Alright, so here we go then, guys. About to get underway. 4 purple sectors. Formula 1 league here. This is obviously round 5 of this 24 round season. Badman, the race leader on those fresh medium tyres, is going to be getting us back underway here. But the question is, can he make these tyres last? Because they're going to be on borrowed time for sure, with the likes of Clen, Mason, Rex Boy and T on the hard tyres behind Badman. It's going to be interesting to see as we're back underway over the line here to get this one. Green flag into turn 1 again, and Badman comfortably ahead of Clen going into turn 1 for the time being. Looking at everybody coming through turn 1, there's a bit of a gap here between Ernie and John, and also a bit of a gap here between Street Boy and Mango as well. But we're all clean through the first few corners on this restart. No dramas so far. And at the moment, it's Badman leading. Badman and Clen have already gapped Basin by a little bit. Basin a bit sleepy here on the start by the looks of it. Matty's got a 3-second time penalty here for track limits, so he joins C. Faulkner. Those two are the only drivers so far to fall foul of the race director. Badman has almost got the gap over a second already here to Glenn. We've seen in the first stint, Badman a bit better at getting the tyres warmed, and obviously being on the mediums, they're going to warm up much quicker than Glenn's tyres anyway. But Glenn's got to be playing the long game here on these hard tyres. We all know that they're going to go a long way into this race, could even potentially get him to the end of the race. Badman's put the mediums on. I still can't really understand why. I'm thinking maybe he might have done it by mistake here, potentially. Who knows what the plan was with them, but yeah, it doesn't really make a whole load of sense to me. But anyway, Basin has got a load of cars behind him right now. Rexy Boy team, C-Mac are all in hot pursuit. These guys are a little bit ahead of C14, Shinigami, G.C. Ernie and Matty Pitt. As we see the Ferrari Rexy Boy looking to the inside into turn one, a bit too far away. Oh, we've got Ernie looking around the outside here of G.C. into turn one, and he's made that one stick there. Lovely move there from Ernie. Goes a little bit deep on the exit of the corner though, and I tell you what, it wasn't a lovely move because he took too much speed into the first part, and G.C. absolutely played him a sucker there on the exit of the corner, back up into 9th place without any further ado. But at the moment, we've still got Basin here in 3rd place, narrowly ahead of Rexy Boy at the moment, as T picks up a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. Badman's gapped Clem by just over a second at the moment, so he's starting to settle into a bit of a rhythm as the race leader, but we know that Clem on the hard tyres will certainly have something to say about that later on in the stint. Oh, as somebody's off there. There's an Alpine out of shape. Shinigami has just dropped a handful of places there, down to 11th place. Ernie's got a 3-second time penalty. I have a feeling Ernie's going to be a bit frustrated with that one, because I think he did that track limits because he was distracted there from the car in front, the ghosting car, as we see Ernie again riding wide there on the exit of the corner. Well, he doesn't have an excuse for that time, but yeah, I have a feeling maybe that might just be a chain reaction of frustrations there getting to him. But nonetheless, Badman over the line here to start lap 11. He's fast step of the race so far from Badman, outpacing Glenn out the front, as you would expect with the tyre situation. Nothing to be seen here at the moment. Rexy Boy down the inside of Basin up into 3rd place. That's job done there for the Ferrari driver, and Rexy Boy driving an absolute cracker here tonight. I have to say, Basin's had the pace of the top two in terms of raw pace over tonight, but since this restart just hasn't looked the same as what we've seen in the first part of the race. He seems to be struggling a little bit, and Basin here's just sat behind Rexy Boy at the moment. He still have DRS, he's still within striking distance, and I'm sure he'll be quite keen to come back with a quick reply here. Matty Pitt here closing up onto the back of G.C. Street Boy has just got ahead of White Shadow Hull up into 12th place. White Shadow on the soft tyres as well, but Street Boy making that move. Fock is now waiting in the wings behind him, as well as Mango. So the two Williams here fighting out over 14th and 15th places at this moment in time. Can White Shadow come back at Street Boy here as they come through the first of the two chicanes? As Matty and G.C. are battling here. Matty has oh, he's gone incredibly wide there, and G.C. might be fancying an immediate reply here as they come down towards the final corner. Who has DRS? I reckon it's G.C. And it is, oh my goodness, it's Shinigami, nowhere to go, trying to thread the needle there, had absolutely no option or avenue to go there, as G.C. trying to go around the outside here. He's got the grip, he's made that move there brilliantly. Matty's now going to have DRS down the straight though, and could be able to come back at him, but G.C. got such a good drive off the final corner, had incredible momentum, and Matty Pitt's found himself with a bit of a deficit there down the straight. G.C. misses the apex a little bit into turn one, but he's still got it turned in nicely, as we've got a virtual safety car, because somebody, I think, has binned it. And yeah, there must be debris out there somewhere, but I haven't seen any indication of where it might be. But Badman's got the gap considerably over Glenn at the moment. He's looking in cruise control at the moment. It's Badman, you have to say, at this point in the race on the medium tyres. Let's not forget, Glenn could potentially go to the end of the race here. Badman will want to be a few seconds clear of Glenn by the time he comes into the pits for his next stop. And Batman, obviously, we'll be expecting him to come onto the hard tyres for the final stint as well. Probably on about, I reckon, lap 16 or 17, we'll be seeing Batman. And oh no, Glenn has got a drive through for speeding under the VSC. And that is a disaster for the double champion here at Purple Sector, because he was in the fight with Baban. He's obviously in a strategic, advantageously strategic position. And yeah, he's just, well, he's balls that one up terribly. So he's going to have to come into the pits now. Drive through the pit lane on the limiter. I mean, the thing is, he might be better off just staying out for as long as he can. Plumbing in the laps, trying to come out as far up the order as he can. He'll want to, I assume he'll want to be coming out probably, well, he should be able to come out at 11th. Looking down the order, he should be coming out ahead of Street Boy, who's about 20 seconds behind him. So at this moment, it's not all doom and gloom here for Glenn, as we see Rexy Boy once again getting back ahead of Basin. These guys have been battling for a few laps. We see the head drivers at this train swapping positions a lot, but the guys behind them all in a battle of the slipstream and DRS behind them. It's very hard to actually make an overtake when you're in a DRS train. But from 3rd down to 11th place here, you've got 9 drivers all in a line. Such is the nature of the DRS in Formula 1. Next season, obviously, in real life, we'll be seeing the abolition of DRS and the implementation of something quite similar to the KERS or ERS system, except that you can only use it when you're within a second of the car in front, but you can use it anywhere on the track, and you have a certain amount that you can use each lap. So it won't just be a DRS zone, it'll be a tactical usage in a sense. So when you've got a load of cars in a train, some drivers might deploy it in certain places, other drivers might try and catch the guy in front out by using it somewhere you wouldn't expect it to be utilised. But it's going to be interesting to see that, and it might cure some of these painful DRS trains that we've become so accustomed to over the last few seasons. As we see Basin there moving ahead of Rexy Boy, and look, we've got 3 wide here coming into the final corner as the Red Bull there, C-Mac trying to go around the outside of the McLaren there of T, and T manages to keep ahead there as he's trying to get the move done on Rexy Boy, but Rexy Boy here is getting swamped potentially as they come down the long straight. He's going to have DRS on Basin. He was passed before we got to the corner, as we see Glenn has come into the pits here at the end of lap 13, but into turn 1 they go, and Basin there's he got back ahead of Rexy Boy here, but wow, that was a close call there as they all went into the final corner there. C-Mac was trying to go around the outside, T and Rexy Boy were just sort of in the middle, and thankfully there C-Mac saw that saw what was on the inside there. But yeah, close call there from those 3 guys, as now T looking to try and get a run here on the back of Rexy Boy. To the outside he goes. Is he going to be able to go all the way around the long way here? He could get this one done. It's going to be a brave move there on the outside, but he's done it brilliantly there as T, late on the brakes, and kept the grip around the outside. Beautifully done there from the McLaren driver. C-Mac here still watching and waiting here in the background as Rexy Boy there a bit wide onto the runoff going through the first chicane. As C Faulkner here will be looking to try and get involved as well. A few more drivers with penalties now. C Faulkner isn't alone in that regard anymore, as Ernie's lost out to Matty and Gino and is down to 9th place here. So Ernie seems to be falling backwards a bit. Shinigami getting up ahead of him up into 9th place as well. As Rexy Boy there's moved ahead of T up into 3rd place as well. G.C. getting ahead of Matty into the final corner, and that one is done there up into 7th place as well. Rexy Boy here still ahead of T as they come into turn 1. T looking to the outside. Rexy Boy there. Oh, he went a bit deep there, but still getting it stopped in time. Matty Pitt there's moved ahead of G.C. up into 7th place into turn 1. That is a move for position there for Matty. We see Ernie and Fock both in the pits here at the end of lap 14. This train of cars still going at it here. T trying to force the issue with Rexy Boy. Shinigami there's got a 3-second penalty. Well, it's coming up on our screen there. As, oh my goodness, C Faulkner. What are you doing? Building a golf course out there. C-Mac there, 3-second penalty for track limits. But T still well within a second here of Rexy Boy at the moment. T-Mac still right there as well. As we see Clen there getting ahead of Shinigami up into 9th place. Obviously Clen has put the hard tyres on. What? Wait, what? Oh yeah, came in for his drive-through. Completely forgot about Clen coming in for a drive-through. So Clen's now got a real fight in his hands. I mean, he's going to be sort of trying to get onto the podium, I would have thought, because Rexy Boy isn't that far up the road. Although the thing is, the only issue is he's got 6 cars in the way. Yeah, one would assume that he'd probably be trying to aim for a podium. But anyway, Bad Man coming into the pits at the end of lap 15, so he's going to have a 10-lap stint to the end of the race on the hard tyres, and that will be Bad Man off and back away once again there. C-Mac into the pits as well. Shinigami also in here. So that, now with a couple of drivers coming into the pits, it's left just Rexy Boy T and C14 in this battle for what's I suppose a net P3 should I say. Basin net 2nd place at the moment, having a lonely, quiet but a very impressive race, you have to say, from Basin so far. Hasn't really done much wrong at all. It wasn't quite on the pace of the top 2. Was looking like he'd be a best of the rest 3rd place here tonight behind Bad Man and Clen. And then obviously Clen had his problem, had the drive-through penalty, which has dropped him back considerably. Bad Man's come out just behind the battle for the net 3rd place. Obviously, having been into the pits, these guys still yet to pit. But Bad Man, the net race leader, and he's got a comfortable advantage. He's just got ahead of Matty there in the background. Well, you couldn't see him, but he has got ahead of Matty Pitt. So he's now not too far behind this battle for 2nd place on the road. As T here's got DRS a little bit too far away into the final corner here on Rexy Boy. At the end of lap 16, we've got 9 laps left to go here at Jeddah. Are these guys going to roll the dice? Are they going to come into the pits? We see there C14 now coming into the pits, as we've got T here now looking to the outside of Rexy Boy into turn 1. Is he going to go the long way around? Rexy Boy covering that inside line off, and there's no way right through there for T. No avenue for him to take at the moment. And Rexy Boy holding his ground for the time being quite nicely. Basin out the front here with a comfortable gap to these guys. He will lose the lead obviously once he comes in, because Bad Man is in a net lead. Saying that, maybe Basin's going to roll the dice potentially. Got nothing to lose, I suppose. He'll probably finish P2 if he stays out to the end, although his hard tyres will be shot to pieces by that point. But I suppose maybe it might be worth him trying to stay out, because if Rexy Boy and T are trying to one stop, which also it would be a risky strategy because they're going to end up with a load of cars behind them, but if they do, that could hold up Bad Man for a little bit. Not for too long probably. Oh dear, what's happened here? Clen has had a crash with Shinigami according to our well, we've got another safety car which we didn't know about, but since that safety car's been deployed, I think Clen has hit Shinigami, so Clen can't get away from troubles here tonight. He seems to be a bit of a magnet to the stewards, and he's just picked up a 10-second penalty, so clearly it's not been Clen's night tonight. I think we can say that with some level of assuredness here, and yeah, he's definitely going to, I think, be quite happy to see the back of Jeddah here after tonight. But safety car is out here, so that'll be Basin who's going to get not a free pit stop, but certainly a discounted pit stop, half price pit stop here for Basin. We see the guys around him coming in. In fact, Bad Man's coming in. The net race leader could have had track position there. He wouldn't have had very old tyres. They'd have only been 2 laps old. He's coming in for 2 lap fresher tyres than what he would have otherwise had, and he's gone for the soft. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I suppose that makes sense, but he's having to fix his front wing as well, which would suggest that Bad Man had contact with either the wall or somebody else during that recess period. But regardless, we've got the top 5 all on fresh soft tyres. Shinigami and Clen are on hard tyres. They will have the advantage in the last sort of couple of laps, I would think. But for the start of this stint, the guys up ahead of them are going to be absolutely blasting off into the distance. So it'd be interesting in the last couple of laps to see how Shinigami and Klen come through the pack, because after about 3 or 4 laps, those soft tyres are going to be burnt up, and I would have thought they might have a bit of a resurgence in the last couple of laps of the race. But we'll have to see how this all pans out. I reckon we're probably going to have a 6-lap dash, maybe a 5-lap dash if they faff about. But yeah, it should be a very exciting end to this race. I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet, and I'll be back in a minute. There we are then, guys. Confirmation safety car is going to be coming in now. A very late call there from race control, but this is it. We're ready. So Basin here is going to be leading us away. Badman, the long-time race leader, opted to come in along with everyone else. He could have gone to the end, but he would have had slower tyres for the restart. So off we are. Down to turn 1 once again. It's Basin leading ahead of Rexy Boy with T there, third place, followed by G.C. Batman looking to get on this quickly as Ernie there's moved ahead of the hard tyre runners up into P6 as Shinigami there dropping down the order a bit. C-Max up into 8th place there, Matty up into 7th. Matty himself on worn out hard tyres as well. Well, not worn out actually, they would have been 1 lap old when the safety car came out, so they're not old at all in reality. But on this restart here, it's looking like the soft tyre runners have already got a bit of an advantage here. They're already starting to pull away ever so slightly. Badman here all over the back of the Ferrari of G.C. as they come through this middle part of the lap. G.C. knows his teammates 2 places up ahead, could benefit massively from G.C. holding up Badman's charge here, because Badman is going to be on the warpath here in his final few laps of the race. Probably going to be feeling a bit resentful the fact that he was leading most of this race, and then in these final few laps has been forced into a situation where he's really got to fight for it. Reminds me a little bit of Justify last season at Qatar, led the entire race, dominated it, and then obviously Badman was the beneficiary that night of a bit of luck with the safety car, ended up winning that race. Tonight Badman's definitely been the, I'd say the unlucky party in that regard, as he's now looking to the outside here of G.C. down towards the final corner. He's got to go around the long way here. In the end, he's going to have to tuck back in, go for a cutback here out of the final corner, and here we go then. Over the line here, Badman's going to probably get a slingshot here off of the car in front. As he's looking to the outside here in the foreground, you've got T there making the move down the inside of Rexy Boy, and in fact T's made that move there as we were watching on board from the perspective of Badman, but T there is up into P2 with a great move there into turn 1, bit aggressive, but he got that one done. I think that was hard but fair there from him. Badman still running in 5th place. This is giving Basin a chance to make a break for it here, and Badman could be in a bit of trouble. Basin must surely sense an opportunity here tonight to try and bag a race win, and what a night that would be to get a win. Basin's been really a revelation this season, since the start of season 14 here at Purple Sector. Really enjoying this F1 25 game at this moment. But we see here Badman's looking around the outside of G.C. Can't get the move done there. Can't get the grip around the outside or the traction to really pose a threat here to the Ferrari driver, as his teammates just ahead of him. G.C. He's got Rexy Boy just up in front of him. T's already starting to pull away a little bit from these guys though, having got the move done on Rexy Boy. Is T tasting or sensing a race win? I don't think he is, because he's got a 3-second penalty, and that's going to make it almost impossible for him to not just reel in Basin, but also to pull out 3 seconds to him. I think that one might be a little bit beyond him here tonight. But nonetheless, we've got a battle here for 2nd place, which continues to rage on. But first, we've got a battle for 3rd place, as G.C. looking up the side of his teammate, and he's made that move there because Rexy Boy got it very out of shape there through the final corner. And G.C. and Badman up into 3rd and 4th places. Now Badman is going to try and get 2 moves in space of a couple hundred metres here. He's up into 3rd place there, into turn 1. Easy pickings there for Badman. Clears the Ferrari like no trouble whatsoever there for him. And Badman is up into 3rd place, as we see C-Max moved ahead of Shinigami up into 7th place as well. So that's a move that's been completed there. But Badman here is now starting to get into a groove. He's only 2 seconds off of the race lead, so the race win is still very much on here for Badman. Basin will now see Badman on his telemetry and will know that he's coming for him. So that could be ominous here for Basin. Hopefully he's not distracted. Hopefully he just gets on with the job, keeps his head down and keeps pushing. But at the moment it is currently Badman who's the one on the move here, as he's trying to chase down the leaders if he possibly can. 3.5 laps left to go here at Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, funnily enough. As we can see here, Badman now has got alongside T, and he's going to have DRS as well, and that's going to power him past up into 2nd place. Now can he pull enough of a gap to be out of range here of the DRS when we get to it? So he's currently 1.7 seconds off of the leader Basin. Badman with work to do, but he's got time on his side here. He's got 3 laps to try and, well, first of all he's got to get within DRS, then he's got to try and force a move here in these last couple of laps. Neither of them with penalties. It's going to be a straight fight to the flag, but Basin with a 1.7 second head start as they come over the line here to start lap 23. Clen currently running in 12th, oh, now 11th place actually. Clen's just picked off Street Boy there and got himself on the fringes of the points here, so Clen should be able to damage limitation here tonight, but it's not going to be his night at all, and Badman's going to extend his gap in the championship, but this time it'll be a considerable number of points. It will definitely be, I think it'll be double figures, his championship lead after tonight, because if he gets 2nd place it'll be 18 points, already 1 point ahead. So yeah, I mean, Ken would have to finish it at least P6 or P5 actually for it to not be double figures after tonight. So yeah, he's definitely going to be giving himself a very, very strong position in this championship tonight, is Badman. But he's closing in on Basin by a little bit. He's gained about half a second over the course of this lap. Obviously catching up is one thing, overtaking is certainly another. So the job's certainly not done yet, but he's doing some of it at this point. And Basin still has a cushion at the moment, and Badman there had a horror show going through that 2nd chicane. He really went deep into the first part, had to save it for the 2nd part, really had to accentuate the steering there, which caused him to get sideways. Oh, Shinigami's retired from the race. Clen there looked like he'd made the move on Was it? I don't know if it was Shinigami he got ahead of briefly, or I mean he couldn't have. I mean, he did get ahead of him because Shinigami's out of the race, but yeah, don't quite know what happened there because Glenn, I think, was in 9th place for a second there. He's now back down to 10th as we see John's moved ahead of Mango, and we've also got Matty Pitt who's making a move here on Rexy Boy up into 5th place into turn 1. So Matty there gaining a place in these closing stages. He's got a penalty though. He will drop behind Rexy Boy by the time he gets the checkered flag, but he should be ahead of C-Mac because C-Mac's got a penalty and is 4 seconds behind him. Badman has got a 3-second penalty, so that is going to give Basin the win as long as Basin can avoid a penalty himself and keep it clean in his final 2 laps of the race. That's going to give Basin a huge boost here. He'll see that on the telemetry screen in his top left corner on his HUD, and he will know now he's just got to bring this one home. Huge boost here for Basin as we're in the closing stages of this race. Badman is looking pretty comfortable here in 2nd place. His gap to T 2 seconds. He's got G.C. as T all over the back of him. So G.C. is going to be fancying a podium here. He'll get it anyway because of the penalties. In fact, G.C. is almost within 3 seconds of Badman, but Badman's got pace. I think he's going to pull that gap out to over 3 seconds before we get to the end of the race, especially if G.C.'s battling T. But at the moment, G.C.'s trying to make a move here on T if he possibly can. Fock there's moved ahead of Ernie up into 8th place as well, as Clen's now looking to try and feast on these scraps. He's moved up into 9th place there around the outside of Ernie. Now he's going to try and chase after Fock for 8th place. I think that's going to be the max here for Clen tonight, although saying that, C-Max only 3 seconds up the road and he's got a penalty, so could be P7 on the cards here for Clen actually, thinking about it. But P7 I think is going to be the maximum he's going to achieve tonight. G.C. and T are side by side here down the start finish straight. Who's going to come out on top in this one? As we can see there, T around the outside into turn 1, and that is job done there for T. He's got back ahead of G.C. after they briefly swapped places there through that final sector, but he's got the entire final lap here to try and stay ahead, so the job is not done yet for him. Clen is within 3 seconds now of C-Mac, who's running in 7th place, but he's got to negotiate Fock, and if Fock has a nightmare of a final lap and Clen can't pass him, then Clen will drop out of that 3 seconds to C-Mac and will finish in P8. But he's looking like he might be on course for a P7 here for Clen. That'll be 6 championship points, with Badman scoring 18. That'd be a 12-point game for Badman. That would leave him 13 points clear after tonight. So it'd be a decent lead here for Badman. It'd be finally a bit of a cushion in those standings, and I'm sure that would be a big boost for him after the first 5 races of this season. And I think I might have mentioned something earlier about it being a Thursday tonight. It's a Tuesday, and there is a race in 2 nights' time on Thursday. So yeah, I do vaguely remember because I remember thinking it. Anyway, coming through the final corner, Basin is about to finish the race, and he's been he got a bit lucky with his final safety car, but to be fair, he had to be in the right place at the right time. He was on the pace tonight with Basin. A fantastic drive from him over the line. He takes the checkered flag. Basin is your race winner tonight for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. Badman over to take 2nd place with G.C. 3rd on the penalties ahead of Matty Pitt 4th. T drops to 5th place there on the pens with Rexy Boy P6. We've got Fock over the line in 7th with Clen 8th place. So Clen did get ahead of C-Mac on the penalties, but obviously couldn't get the position with Fock there being ahead of him. We've got C-Mac over in 9th ahead of Street Boy 10th, Mango 11th, John 12th, Ernie in 13th place, and White Shadow Hole rounding out the classification there in P14. But that is the race, guys, and that is your race winner there, Basin, who was there to capitalise when it all went wrong for the 2 guys, the 2 championship contenders, both fluffing their lines here tonight. Badman with his penalty and also coming into the pits for that late safety car. He got a bit of bad luck, to be fair, but Basin was there making sure that he could cash in on his good fortune. Basin the winner tonight, and Badman 2nd, with the podium being completed there by G.C. And the other championship contender there, Clen, finishing way down the order there in 8th place. Could have been worse. Could have been a bit better as well. The gap's going to be 15 points after tonight between Badman and Clen, but still very early stages in this championship between those 2. But to everyone, to the Purple Sector League, thank you for having me as always, and we'll be back on Thursday night as well for round 6 of the season, which is it Miami or is it, I don't know, it might not be, it might be Imola, it might be Canada, I don't know. But wherever it is, we will be there. And thanks everybody. We'll see you all soon.